Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Everyone celebrates good news at the sanitarium in the bedroom at Steve and Kayla's townhouse. Steve goggled at captions from The Spectator, including one about Clyde being on the run. When Kayla entered, she said that Steve was the reason Tripp was alive. Steve said that Kayla had also been responsible for saving Tripp and Wendy because Kayla had helped Steve learn sign language times before. Steve recalled that Wendy had made the sign for beer and that he and John had followed Wendy's indication to the brewery. When Kayla derived that Steve was still upset, Steve noted that he was worried that Ava had been involved with Clyde. Steve added that Abe still had amnesia and that Paulina had heart failure. Kayla surprised Steve when she said that, against all odds, Paulina's heart was back to normal. Steve wondered how it was possible. Kayla credited the power of love and prayer, and she said that everyone had a lot to be thankful for. In Wendy's room at the sanitarium, Wendy flashed back to having changed promises with Tripp the former night in the brewery. Tripp entered, and he said he did not want him and Wendy to go through an analogous fire again. Wendy wondered if she had imagined some of what she and Tripp had said to one another when they'd been running out of air. Before Wendy could ask whether she and Tripp had really changed promises, Sarah entered. By the nurse's station, Johnny and Chanel asked Abe for an update on Paulina. Abe stunned Johnny and Chanel when he said that Paulina no longer demanded a heart transplant. Chanel asked what had happened. "I do not know if I can explain it, however, I might suppose I pictured the whole thing," Abe said, "if I did not know more." In Paulina's room at the sanitarium, Lonnie shocked when she and Eli set up Paulina's bed empty. Eli told Lonnie not to assume the worst. Just also, Abe, Chanel, and Johnny entered seconds before Sarah wheeled Paulina in. Chanel noted that Paulina looked much better than she had the former night. Sarah blazoned that Paulina's heart appeared healthy. Defying all medical explanation, Sarah added. Paulina was by much better spirits, and she said that they had another phenomenon to celebrate. Everyone gathered was overjoyed when Abe blazoned that he'd recaptured his recollections the former night. Abe extended his arms to Lonnie, and he warmly recalled the day he'd discovered that Lonnie was his son. Abe said that he was proud to be Lonnie's father. Lonnie and Abe participated a warm grasp. Abe looked at Paulina, and he said that he flashed back falling in love with her the first time. Johnny noted that the Carvers had to have an angel in their midst. "Yes, we do," Abe said warmly, and he and Paulina locked eyes. Eli entered a call, and Lonnie stepped out of the room with him. Alone in the room, Paulina supposed that Abe had no plans to tell Eli and Lonnie about the hassle with Lexi. Abe said that no one would believe that Lexi had miraculously healed them. Paulina bothered that Abe recovering his recollections might beget him to flash back the falsehood she had told him. Abe declared his love for Paulina, and he said that he could not stay to spend the rest of his life with her. Abe and Paulina kissed. Paulina said that she had pictured of Abe recovering his recollections for months. "And now, thank God and thank Lexi, we will be making numerous further beautiful and perfect recollections together," Paulina told Abe. Moments laterly, Steve and Kayla joined Abe and Paulina. Paulina thanked Steve and Kayla for all they had done for Paulina and Abe. Also, Abe said that he planned to move back in with Paulina full-time. Steve and Kayla were excited by the advertisement, and they invited Abe and Paulina to a celebratory regale eventually soon. Abe and Paulina happily agreed. Steve and Abe hugged. Steve said that he loved Abe and Paulina. By the nurse's station, Eli and Lonnie were thrilled after Eli learned by phone that the FBI had approved his request to become a part-time agent. Eli participated that he was having reservations because the job was in Washington, D.C., and he added that he was torn over leaving Salem again. Back in Paulina's room, after Paulina mentioned spending further time with Jules and Carver, Paulina noted that Eli and Lonnie had long faces. Lonnie participated the news of Eli's job offer. Paulina said that Eli and Lonnie had to do what was stylish for them, and she promised to visit them in Washington as frequently as she could. Back in Wendy's room, Steve and Kayla visited Tripp and Wendy. Sarah was happy when she blazoned that Tripp and Wendy were in better shape than when they'd first arrived at the sanitarium the former night. Steve told Tripp that he was furious with Ava for her part in Clyde's medicine trafficking ring. Tripp defended Ava by noting that she had asked Tripp and Wendy to leave Salem weeks before. Steve grew indeed more irate when he learned that Tripp had known of Ava's involvement with Clyde, and he demanded to know why Tripp had not gone to Steve with the information. Tripp apologized to Steve, who claimed that he was only angry with Ava. Steve said he was thankful that Tripp and Wendy were okay. Tripp said that he was thankful for Steve, and they participated a warm clinch. A short while laterally, Johnny and Chanel entered Wendy's room. Tripp and Wendy were relieved to learn that Paulina was feeling better. Wendy spotted Chanel's marriage ring. She and Tripp complimented Johnny and Chanel on getting wedded, and they all celebrated. Johnny posited that everyone was where they belonged. After Johnny and Chanel left, Wendy told Tripp that she had no way been as hysterical as she would been the former night, but she added that she would also no way felt as safe as when she would been in Tripp's arms. Tripp kissed Wendy before he asked what was on her mind. Tripp, did you really propose to me last night? Wendy asked. Back by the nurse's station, Johnny and Chanel presented Sarah with a box of croissants from Sweet Bits to distribute to the nurses. Sarah thanked Johnny and Chanel, and she suggested that they use the Horton cabin as a honeymoon position. Chanel and Johnny agreed before pacing to Paulina's room. Sarah joined soon laterally to say that Paulina could be discharged as early as the following day. At the same time, Steve stood near the nurse's station, and he left a voice communication asking John to call him back. "We need to talk about the fallout from Weston's escape," Steve said. Laterally, Kayla spotted Steve, and she supposed that commodity was wrong. Steve said that Clyde's escape from Statesville was still bothering him. Not only did Tripp and Wendy suffer through that fire because of him. "My God, that monster killed our bastard, abducted you and Joe," Steve started. "And he is out there nearly, planning God knows what," Kayla added. Kayla offered that Clyde would be set up and transferred back to captivity. "Yeah, well, that son of a wine more damn well hope that the police get him before I do," Steve pledged. Couple leaving Salem again? During Paulina's ongoing health affections, a addict favorite couple returned to Days of Our Lives to offer their love and support. But the March 13th occasion revealed the fate of this Salem super couple. Alani return. Eli and Lonnie, affectionately known by suckers at Alani, were last seen in Salem last summer when Abe went missing. The couple eventually returned last month when Lonnie's mama Paulina was at death's door from heart failure and the Carver clan united in support. It's generally temporary visits when Stowers and Archie returned to Days, and the March 13th occasion verified whether they re-anticipated to stay or leave. Will they stay or will they go? Paulina is now on the mend, and while visiting her in the sanitarium, Eli got a call he claimed he demanded to take. The couple stepped out after Lonnie assured Paulina they'd be back with 2 surprises. When Eli ended his phone call, he blazoned to his woman that his new FBI status is as a part-time special agent. The two celebrated his new job until Eli questioned if he should take it due to it being in D.C., wondering if they should stay in Salem with their family. After an off-screen visit with little Carver and Jules, Paulina told them she hopes to see further of her grandchildren. That was when Lonnie eventually told her mama about Eli's job offer and how it would take them down from Salem. Lonnie decided it was over to Paulina, who fought it at first, but eventually agreed it was stylish for them as long as their home in D.C. has room for her to visit when she's well enough to travel. Are on a roll on Days of Our Lives presently. Salem, USA is drowning in negative energy with a rampant medicine epidemic, anesthetic overdoses, houses burning down, Bobby blow-ups, and hijackings anguishing the city. Thankfully, happiness and joy are also present in the form of the Carvers. The Carver family celebrated all their recent triumphs in the Wednesday, March 13, 2024 occasion of Days of Our Lives. There's always one thing to flash back in the macrocosm of detergents: happiness is transitory. How long is their joy going to last? The Carvers on a roll. The Carver/Price family complete with Lonnie and Eli gathered at the sanitarium to celebrate Paulina's unforeseen mending. She's no longer in heart failure, and only Paulina and Abe were apprehensive that an angelic appearance from Abe's late woman, Lexi, was the phenomenon they demanded. Lexi's godly presence and substance healed Paulina's failing heart.